He must have been devastated that they took the girls, but especially Clayton, away, who was his son.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Dad always considered the girls his.
Yeah.
He never treated them as second-class children.
No.
And they all felt that. Yeah, it was very hard on him. I think it was especially hard that she took Clayton because he was the youngest, and younger kids have that kind of privileged place with parents very often. So I think that was really hard. I think he was really discouraged, and so I think it was a combination of things. But I think he really felt a sense of wanting to, go to war, and going to war was, in some ways, really devastating because he saw so much that really haunted him for the rest of his life.
So the five of you were in Los Angeles.
5 of us were in Los Angeles, and then
That was the time of the fabled lard sandwiches.
yes, that's when we
Okay.
ate the lard sandwiches.
Okay.
But toasted lard sandwiches, pièce de résistance.
Fixing that at a time and place.
That's right.
And then Faye took them and left the two of you, and you went with Ona then.
Yeah, we
And
went
was
with
she
her.
married or
She
with
was
someone?
married. Ona was married to her third husband, Louis Hoffman, who was also alcoholic, and who worked he was a fireman, and she worked in a bar, and we were basically free as any creatures. We just went. We were gone, out to the river and in the mountains, and we were just, like Huck and Tom, free as any creatures.
Did you take care of each other?
Yeah, Billy really took care of me in a way. In some ways, I was reading one of the letters that he wrote to me, and in some ways, I think he protected me. He had that instinct. So I think that some of these things he experienced more traumatically than I did, although I certainly experienced them. I think that I can remember our sleeping together in the same bed, and we slept opposite ends so we could rub one another's feet. When Mom abandoned us there in Durango, when I suppose maybe I'm 8 or 9, I don't know how old I am there. Bill was a year and 9 months older than I was. He talked about cooking for Janet and me, and then I think Mom's sister Jessie came and took Janet, and I don't know. Bill thinks we could have been alone in the house months. I don't know, because Louis abandoned us as well, but they had set up a charge account next door, so we had candy and pop.
Magazines.
Which is probably, no, we didn't read, but probably, but Bill said that he and Janet and I slept in the same bed, and we didn't really think much about it. They're going to come home at some point. I guess you imagine that they are. And then we stopped going to school, and that's when the authorities found out. And
How long do you think it took them to figure it out? How long had you not been going to
well,
school?
well, we went to school until Bill said we ran out of clean clothes, and I think he and maybe he and I don't know, wore pajama tops to school, and the kids teased us, so we stopped going.
That's logical.
That's logical, yeah.
But I mean,
Instead
how
of
long
seeing us as trendsetters.
Hugh Hefner. So, how long do you think you went to school and
I
without
don't.
adults? And then how long do you think after you stopped going to school did somebody?
Bill said it could have been months
I suppose so.
that this happened. I mean, sometimes it takes people might try to call and nobody answers, and who knows? But at some point it caught up.
Boy, that Mrs. Rees is very busy all the time.
So then we were put in a foster home with some people we knew next door.
Mm-hmm.
Bill said the kids were mean to us, but I remember the adults being loving.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember playing strip poker, and that wasn't very much fun.
Depends on if you win or lose.
And then the authorities were trying to reach Dad. He was in a hospital. He got wounded in the service and was in a hospital in Oceanside. And first he was in Sawtell, I think, and then in Oceanside. And they finally caught up with him. And he was about to go in to get surgery. And he went and got Bill and me and took us to Wickenburg, where Faye and the girls were living. And then he went back and was in the hospital and had a surgery.
Oh, he got you between surgeries. I
Yeah.
mean, before his surgery.
Yeah.
That was injury from going down the stairs in the.
I think so.
the
I think
ship?
I think he went down and they did a surgery on his neck and his back.
Mm.
I think fused some vertebrae or something, but he had a long scar going down his back. Just he had a scar under here from the Ludwig's angina when they operated to give him
oxygen. Very optimistic of him to join the service, considering his responsibility as a parent. He was so responsible. What if something had happened to him?
If something had happened to him, I would have been in prison.
Yeah.
Because what was going on? I mean, if he had been killed? We were in a foster home.
Yeah.
I'm 9 years old. I'm in a foster home. I might have been rescued by Nona or Margie, but that's no guarantee of that. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's not a stretch of imagination being over dramatic to think that I could, because I was already at 9. I was drinking and smoking.
Were you?
Yeah.
From being with the foster kids?
No.
That's what you and Billy did.
This was in the home. We were around alcohol, and Mom wouldn't have approved of our smoking, but
she wasn't there.
She wasn't there, and we could take some leaves and crunch them up and roll up in a newspaper and have a good smoke.
Yeah.
Or steal some cigarettes or whatever. And I remember not liking the taste of beer, so I certainly would have had some at that, and it was around. So
that was a time then when Faye took Clayton and the girls. That's when he started drinking. When he was, that's what he said last time I.
Did he? Okay, yeah.
The older girls had boyfriends, and they were, they offered him slow gin.
Who said that?
Clayton. And he was really young.
Yes, that's right.
He would have been younger than 8, maybe.
That's when he went back to Missouri.
That's when he went back to Missouri.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So he started his journey with alcohol that young.
Yeah, he was in high school.
Maybe younger.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that Granddad's sense of sort of responsibility and obligation met with, in terms of his parenthood, met with patriotism and
and I think in some ways, I think he was worn out. I mean, he talks about those 371 days, and then in the middle of that, Clayton became deathly ill and was in the hospital in Kingman, which was, 30 miles away. So Dad would take care of all of the night milking, drive to Kingman, and then in the morning drive back. So he said there were 5 days when he didn't sleep at all, which the way he drove, again, he could have been killed the way he drove.
Yeah. What was Clayton's illness?
I don't know what it was. It could have been pneumonia or something, but Faye was there, I guess, and I don't know who was staying with us. Nobody, I would guess. The coyote who was our pet. Who knows? I don't know. But he said something. Dad was very bright and had a fantastic memory. Some of your really good memory, I think, comes from Dad. He had an incredible memory. But he said something happened to his brain, his memory during those 5 days when he didn't sleep. And you can imagine, milking 70 cows a day and driving all over, and then going to driving to Kingman and back. So I think that, and then when he fell and broke his legs on the section or the signal gang, and then moved to Los Angeles, and Faye running off, and him not knowing where she was and putting an ad in the paper, has anybody seen this woman? You know, she's with some sailor living in a motel, and he probably is just thought, you know, why?
I'll take a vacation.
Yeah,
I'll go to war.
Yeah.
I'm just going to join the Navy.
Go to the South Pacific.
Go to Iwo Jima.
Yeah, right.
Take some time off.
Yeah. So I'm assuming he was discouraged and worn out, and also feeling very patriotic. So I think that that combination of things led him to go. It was, you know, in retrospect, it was an irresponsible thing, but I understand it and I don't fault him. But it could have been disastrous for us.
And he was injured. He was injured after the battles.
He was injured in several instances during the war.
That's what I thought.
Sometimes once with shrapnel, the other time falling down the stairs.
What was the shrapnel injury?
Just from planes shooting.
Where was it?
Japanese. He was in all the South Pacific.